Okay, so in this example, we have your standard sales record, I guess, of 12 months of sales by all our different reps that you see here. What I want to be able to do is figure out what type of bonus, percentage that I'm going to be paying them. I've never done it before, but I'm thinking about maybe doing it now. And what I need to do is kind of figure out what percentage I should pay them that I can afford to pay. So normally what I would do is I would go, I'd set up a row on row 16 there. I would type in an equal, and I'd say, okay, I want to take this number here, and I want to multiply it by, I don't know, let's say we'll try 0.05, all right? Hit the enter key, and then go ahead and copy that all the way across, something like that. So I could see that if I paid them 5%, I would get that. Now, I say, okay, what would 15% be? So then I have to go back to that cell, go back up here, let's say, and change it to 0.15, which would give me 15%. Enter that one in, and then I have to go back down here and copy back across. All right, so I'm finding myself, every time I want to change that percentage, I'm having to go back down here and end up having to, re-enter a different number, different decimal figure. So then I get the brainy idea that maybe what I should do instead is, instead of referencing the percentage within the formula directly like this, how about if I set up a cell that would have that percentage in it, and I would refer in the formula to that cell, and that way in the future all I have to do is just change the percentage or decimal in that cell, and it would automatically update all of my formulas going along the bottom. So the way to do that normally would be to click on to the first cell. We'll just pretend like there's nothing there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll wipe it out. That way it's not distracting. So we'll do that. So then what we'll do is we'll go back here. We'll say, okay, equal. And then we'll say, all right, 68,000 times. And now this is where I would normally type in 0.05, 0.15, or whatever. But instead, I'll click onto the cell that I set up to house that number. So what we're doing here is we're setting up a variable in a way. So you click onto that, all right? Now, I'm going to do it the wrong way. I want to show you something here. If I enter it, and then I go ahead and copy this across, it doesn't work too good. Part of the problem is that in the first formula, I said, okay, take B15 times C1. Great. You go to copy it across to the next cell, all right? That B15 reference then changes to C15. That's okay. We want that because that would be for Kathy. But the C1 reference will change to D1. So if you look at the second one here, it changed to C15, just like I said, but the C1 changes to D1. Well, what's a D1? Nothing. So it says there's no value in there. I can't find anything. And you look at this one here, D15 is changed to, which is fine, for Susan's total, but now we're at E15 as far as, what it's referring to. So it's pretty much just given up at that point. So what we need to do instead, I'm just going to wipe this out again. What we need to do instead is somehow get it so where this part changes when we copy it, that reference, but this reference here does not change, all right? Now here's how we do this. We go down here, we do our equal, still click on to our 68,000, okay, then times, all right? We still click on to C1, but right when you click on to C1, we take our finger and we hit the F4 key. The F4 key makes the last reference that you've just clicked onto go what we call absolute. So what's happened is that we have set the C1 to be absolute, left the B15 to be relative, so later on when it gets copied, the absolute stays stuck in C1. The relative changes, in this case, to C15 and D15 and E15, but that C1 will stay the same. All right, so let's try this out. So we go ahead and hit the Enter key. There it goes. Now we go back to that cell, copy it across, and voila, works like a charm. So if you look at each one of these cells, as I click onto it, click on the next one, the first part changes, but that second part, the absolute part, stays locked in. Perfect. So now we can actually go up here, changes from, let's say, 20 to 15, let's say, or from 15 to 50. And as we're doing that, it's automatically updating down here. So that just is a big time saver to design something like that into this type of a worksheet. So hopefully this comes of value to you, later on when you're maybe doing some of your own worksheets. So thanks for watching and hope you liked it.